Welcome to Antique Coins Information. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare U.S. coins, counting down the top 5 most valuable black Lincoln wheat pennies that collectors around the world are willing to pay millions for. Stay tuned, because you won't believe the incredible stories behind these historic treasures. In the vast world of American numismatics, there are some coins that quietly blend into the background of everyday circulation, yet hide stories that can surprise even experienced collectors. Among all the classic coins of the United States, the 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny stands out as one of those coins that many people pass by without a second thought, yet it carries a fascinating history, hidden value, and a place in the hearts of coin lovers across the world. Imagine holding in your hand a small copper coin that survived more than 70 years of circulation. A coin that passed from pocket to pocket, traveled through decades of American life, and eventually ended up in the spotlight because of its rarity, grade, and incredible collector demand. The 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is not only a symbol of the country's post-war economic era but also a treasure that, under the right conditions, can be worth far more than its face value. The year 1952 was a time of change for the United States. It was during this period that Americans were slowly transitioning from wartime struggles into a more stable and prosperous economy. Cars were becoming more common, televisions were entering households, and the American dream was more alive than ever. During this time, millions of Lincoln wheat pennies were minted, especially in Philadelphia, which produced the no-mint mark version of the 1952 wheat penny. But not every coin minted that year was created equally. And that's where collectors' fascination truly begins. When most people look at a 1952 penny, they see a simple copper coin featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic wheat stalks on the reverse. But coin collectors see something entirely different. They look for shine, color, surface condition, preserved luster, and the absence of scratches. They look for rare striking errors, unusual metal characteristics, and even tiny differences that happened during production. And as it turns out, some 1952 pennies possess these qualities so perfectly that they become incredibly valuable. What makes the 1952 no-mint mark penny intriguing is not that it is one of the rarest wheat pennies ever made. In fact, millions were produced. But the challenge lies in finding one in original condition, especially one preserved in a high mint state grade. Most of these coins went into circulation immediately, picking up scratches, discoloration, dents, and wear marks over time. But the few coins that survived untouched, the few coins that still shine with their bright copper luster, are the ones that collectors chase. When you take a closer look at a 1952 penny, the first thing you might notice is the design. Lincoln's profile, which has appeared on the penny since 1909, still stands proudly. His face is detailed, with sharp lines and a dignified expression. The lettering surrounding his portrait reads Liberty on the left, and In God We Trust above, with the date 1952 neatly stamped on the right. On the reverse side, the wheat stalks give the coin its famous name, the wheat penny. They symbolize prosperity, agriculture, and the foundation of the American economy during the early 20th century. Collectors love the wheat penny series because it represents a piece of American heritage. But what truly separates one wheat penny from another is grade. A common 1952 penny found in pocket change might only be worth a few cents, or maybe a few dollars if in decent condition. But a 1952 penny that has been preserved since the day it left the mint, with full original shine and no visible flaws, can take on a completely different value. Coin grading companies, such as PCGS and NGC, use a strict scale from 1 to 70 when judging a coin's condition. A 1952 penny that grades anywhere above 60 falls under the mint state category, and this is where the value begins to climb. Collectors look for crisp details in Lincoln's hair, clarity in the lettering, and no discoloration or spots. If the coin still has its full red color, which means it has not oxidized into brown or red-brown, then its value increases dramatically. There have been surprising auction results over the years, with bidders competing fiercely to own the finest examples of this coin. Many collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents are willing to pay premium prices for beautiful coins from the early 1950s because they complete their sets, increase the value of their collection, and represent a challenge to find in perfect condition. Another factor that plays an important role in determining value is the presence of mint errors. Error coins from 1952 include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. These errors are much rarer than normal coins, and they often sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how dramatic and unusual the error is. Imagine finding a 1952 penny where the date is doubled due to a misalignment during production. Or a coin where part of the rim is missing because the metal blank was clipped before being struck. These coins are exciting discoveries because they show the imperfections of the minting process and are always highly sought after by error collectors. Even though the majority of 1952 pennies were made using standard copper composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, some rare examples exist with slight variations in their metal tone or surface texture, making them unique and desirable. Some collectors also look for toning, which is a natural color change caused by age. Beautiful rainbow-toned pennies with shades of blue, gold, or violet can fetch impressive prices due to their visual appeal. Another fascinating aspect of the 1952 penny is its relationship to American history. During this decade, the United States was transitioning into a modern era. The Korean War had just ended. President Harry Truman and later Dwight D. Eisenhower were shaping new policies. This coin, minted during such an important period, carries with it the essence of that era. Every scratch or shine on its surface reflects decades of American life. Many Americans today find these pennies hidden in old jars, boxes, or passed down from family collections. And while most are ordinary, there is always a chance to uncover one of those rare, mint-state gems. That chance is exactly what keeps collectors searching, coin roll hunters digging, and enthusiasts examining every detail under magnification. Whether you are a new collector or someone with years of experience, understanding the story behind the 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is essential to appreciating its full value. It teaches us that even common coins can become treasures when preserved correctly, and that history lives on through the smallest pieces of metal we often overlook. And as we reach the end of this journey through the world of the 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny, one thing is clear. This coin, though humble in appearance, carries extraordinary potential. Its value depends on condition, rarity, grade, and desirability. And while the majority may be worth only a little, the finest examples of this iconic coin have shocked collectors with their prices at major auctions. The highest value ever recorded for a stunning, pristine 1952 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny reached an unbelievable amount of $54,433. The story of the United States of America 1953 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny begins in a time when the nation was redefining itself, shaped by post-war growth, fresh dreams, and a renewed belief in possibility. While millions of people rushed back into normal life, the United States Mint quietly continued producing the humble coins that would move through pockets, shops, train stations, cafes, and dusty hardware stores. Among these countless coins, one particular year stands out for collectors who know how to look beneath the surface: 1953. A simple penny at first glance, yet in rare cases, a treasure that has stunned even experienced numismatists. This video explores the long, surprising journey of the 1953 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, why collectors chase it, how to examine it, and the value it can reach in top-tier condition. In a world where people throw change into jars without a second thought, the story of this penny reminds us that some pieces of history still hide in plain sight. The production of the 1953 penny took place in Philadelphia, the only mint that issued the no-mint mark version of that year. Philadelphia was the workhorse of the mint system at that time, pushing out millions of coins every month. The Lincoln wheat cent was already a familiar sight across the country, having circulated since 1909. Its simple obverse design featuring Abraham Lincoln, and the classic wheat ears on the reverse, gave Americans a sense of continuity as they moved forward into a new era of technology and industry. Even though the 1953 penny doesn't carry a mint mark, this doesn't mean it is ordinary. What sets this coin apart is not only its age, but also the few exceptional surviving examples that have made headlines at auctions. Most people don't realize how rare high-grade wheat pennies truly are. The vast majority lived rough lives in circulation. They were tossed into pockets with keys, slid across countertops, dropped on sidewalks, and traded thousands of times for candy, newspapers, fruit, and small goods. By the time most of them reached the modern era, they carried scratches, dull surfaces, and worn-down details. This is exactly why collectors pay so much attention to the condition. A well-preserved 1953 no-mint mark penny with sharp details, bright luster, and minimal marks is almost like time travel. It's as if someone pressed pause on history and the coin never had to live the exhausting life its billions of siblings endured. These untouched survivors are what drive the demand and elevate the price into unexpected territory. To understand the journey of this coin, we begin with the obverse. Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, remains one of the most iconic images seen on American coinage. Collectors look closely at Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, beard lines, and the clarity of the phrase, "In God We Trust." On a worn penny, these details fade away. But on a well-preserved 1953 no-mint mark penny, they remain crisp enough to catch the light. This sharpness separates ordinary circulation finds from rare gems. The date is another important detail. The 1953 digits should appear strong and even, without distortion or smoothing. Weak or worn dates immediately reduce value. On top-quality examples, the date looks as if it was struck yesterday, untouched by decades. The reverse tells its own story. The wheat ears, standing tall on each side of the coin, were designed to represent national prosperity and growth. On most used pennies, these wheat lines fade into the fields around them. But a rare high-grade specimen shows every curve and grain. The words 1 cent and United States of America stand boldly at the center, framed by symbolic abundance. Collectors also analyze luster, which refers to the shine created during the minting process. This shine slowly disappears as the coin circulates, replaced by dullness from friction and contact with other objects. A top-tier 1953 penny still flashes with brilliance, making it look surprisingly alive for its age. These coins are sought after because they represent the closest connection to the moment they were struck at the mint. Color is another factor. Wheat pennies can appear in red, red-brown, or brown tones. Red examples, which maintain their original copper color, are extremely desirable. They require decades of protection from air, oils, and moisture. Even a tiny amount of oxidation can push a coin from red to red-brown, reducing value. So a pure red 1953 no-mint mark penny is considered a prize. Now let's talk about rarity. Even though millions of these coins were made, only a very small number have survived in pristine condition. Most pennies were never saved, because people at the time didn't imagine future collectors searching for them. This natural scarcity is what pushes auction prices to impressive heights. In recent years, collectors have become more interested in earlier Lincoln cents, especially the wheat series. This renewed demand has pushed prices higher. A stunning 1953 no-mint mark penny in top condition can shock new collectors who don't expect such a modern coin to command high value. Yet experts know that condition is everything, and this year has proven that even a regular-looking penny can hide serious potential. To understand how value is determined, we look at grading. Professional grading services examine coins and assign them numbers on the 1 to 70 scale. A grade of 65 or higher places a coin into the gem category, making it significantly more valuable. Grades beyond that, such as 66 and 67, represent superb quality, the kind of coins that collectors dream about. A 1953 penny with no mint mark that achieves one of these elite grades becomes a standout piece. Not all submissions make the cut, which is why high-grade survivors command greater prices. The difference between a grade of 64 and 67 can be thousands of dollars. Collectors often ask how to find one of these valuable coins. The truth is, luck plays a huge part. Some people discover them in old jars or inherited collections. Others search through rolls of pennies hoping to spot an unusually clean example. While finding a top-grade coin today is unlikely, it's not impossible. That tiny chance keeps the excitement alive for many hobbyists. The market for these coins also shifts over time. As more collectors enter the hobby and learn about the value of wheat cents, demand increases. A well-preserved 1953 penny becomes even more valuable because it stands out among the millions of worn ones. Auctions give us a clear picture of this trend, showing that buyers are willing to pay significant amounts for exceptional pieces. The story of the 1953 no-mint mark penny reminds us how something as small as a copper cent can hold both history and hidden wealth. From the moment it was struck, it joined the flow of American life, passing through decades of change, progress, and everyday stories. And while most of its counterparts disappeared into circulation, a few rare examples survived untouched long enough to shine again in the modern collector's world. This coin's value isn't just about metal or rarity. It's about survival. It's about the thrill of discovery. It's about the unexpected possibility that something ordinary can transform into something extraordinary. Serious collectors know that pieces like this are snapshots of time, preserved long enough to be appreciated by new generations. For anyone watching this video, the lesson is simple: never underestimate the coins you come across. That unassuming penny sitting in a drawer or an old box could be worth more than you imagine. When you learn what sets a valuable coin apart, you start seeing history and potential where others see pocket change. The 1953 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny continues to fascinate collectors, inspire treasure hunters, and surprise new hobbyists every year. Its beauty lies not just in its design but in the remarkable stories behind the rare survivors that remain in exceptional condition. These are the coins that become highlights of collections, spark bidding wars, and capture the imagination of anyone who learns their backstory. At the end of the journey, the value of this extraordinary penny in its highest grade has reached an impressive $65,773. The story of the United States 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny begins in a year when America was entering a new age of innovation, growth, and excitement. The country was buzzing with economic energy, families were growing, and industries were expanding. Amid this changing world, millions of pennies were produced by the Philadelphia Mint, yet only a tiny fraction of them would one day rise to fame among coin collectors and enthusiasts. The 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny seems like a simple copper coin that most people overlook, but under the surface it carries a surprising history and unexpected value that continues to shock collectors in today's coin market. This coin, with its iconic wheat ears on the reverse and Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, might appear ordinary at first glance, but the reality is far more intriguing. Many people do not know that the 1958 issue represents the final chapter in the legendary wheat penny series, making it a highly sentimental and collectible piece. After 1958, the design changed from wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, ending a tradition that had lasted for decades. This alone gives the 1958 penny a powerful historical identity. But there is more to its story than just symbolism. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies, but not all of them survived in good condition. Most were spent, circulated heavily, damaged, scratched, dented, and tossed in drawers or jars where time slowly erased their beauty. As decades passed, high-grade examples became increasingly rare. Collectors today know that finding a sharp, lustrous, untouched 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny is like discovering a hidden treasure, because so few survived in pristine condition. Many people do not realize that the value of old coins skyrockets dramatically when the condition is exceptional, and this penny proves that rule perfectly. To understand why this coin became such a massive standout, we need to explore the factors that influence its price and desirability. First is eye appeal. A collector's heart beats faster when they see a coin with bright luster, smooth surfaces, and crisp details. The 1958 wheat penny has a stunning red color in its highest grades, a striking shine that looks almost like it was minted yesterday. When a coin from this era is found without carbon spots, scratches, or wear, it immediately becomes a candidate for high-grade certification. Professional grading companies look at every tiny detail before assigning a grade, and even one small blemish can drop the value significantly. But beyond condition, collectors also look for rarity within rarity. That means not just a rare coin overall, but a rare coin in a rare grade. For example, Millions of 1958 pennies exist in average condition, but only a few exist in near perfect condition, and those handful of premium pieces are what break price records. When a coin is submitted for grading and earns a top level of preservation, such as mint state 66 or higher, it enters a completely different market. Suddenly, it becomes a competition piece, a showcase item, something collectors fight over to complete their sets. The appeal of the Wheat Penny series as a whole also plays a massive role. This series is one of the most beloved and widely collected in all of American numismatic history. People from all around the world collect wheat pennies, creating huge demand. The final year of the series, which is 1958, becomes even more important because completion-focused collectors want to own not just any example but the best example they can afford. This demand pushes the value even higher when a premium-grade coin appears in the market. Another interesting part of this coin's story comes from how it was used in everyday American life. In 1958, a penny still held value. It could buy small candies, contribute to savings, or help children learn mathematics. Today, holding one of these coins feels like stepping into history. The surfaces, the copper shine, and the wheat design reflect the craftsmanship of the era and the care taken by the mint to produce strong, elegant currency for the American people. That historical emotion is something collectors deeply treasure. Many collectors look for unique traits in the 1958 wheat penny. Some coins display slight die lines, minor weaknesses in the strike, or unusual shine patterns, and while these might seem like insignificant details, numismatists find deep interest in them. These tiny differences often help experts identify specific dies used during production, which means that some coins carry more historical value simply because they came from a specific die pair. Collectors enjoy hunting for these varieties because it allows them to connect more personally with the coin's origin. The composition of the 1958 penny also adds to its beauty. Made from 95% copper, these coins have a rich, warm glow that modern zinc pennies lack. Copper ages gracefully when stored properly, gaining a deeper character over time. But copper can also react badly when exposed to moisture, air, or oils from fingers, which is why high-end examples are so incredibly rare. It is extremely difficult for a copper coin to survive over 60 years without discoloration or damage. When one does survive in spectacular shape, it becomes a prized treasure piece. The difference between an average circulated 1958 penny and a high-grade uncirculated example is unbelievable to many new collectors. A circulated penny might only be worth a few cents, perhaps $1 or $2 if it looks decent. But the moment the grade jumps to the highest levels, the price skyrockets into the thousands. This happens because perfect coins from this year are extremely uncommon, and competition among collectors becomes intense when one appears at auction. And speaking of auctions, there have been incredible moments when the 1958 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny shocked the market. Bidders have gone head-to-head, each determined to take home the finest example they could find. These bidding wars demonstrate the raw demand and emotional connection collectors have with the final year wheat penny. Every time a beautifully preserved specimen is offered, collectors know it might be years before another one like it appears. That urgency pushes prices upward and makes the coin more legendary than ever. The charm of this coin also comes from the nostalgia it carries. Many older collectors remember using wheat pennies as children or finding them in spare change. The design reminds them of simpler days, and because the wheat penny is such a symbolic part of American culture, its value goes far beyond copper weight or mintage figures. The 1958 issue is especially meaningful because it marks the end of an era. After this year, the wheat stalks disappeared forever from the penny, replaced with a new design that represented modern America. That transition from old tradition to new identity makes the 1958 penny a powerful collectible piece. With growing interest in coin collecting on social media, YouTube, and online marketplaces, more people are now aware of how valuable certain coins can be. Videos showing rare finds, live auctions, and collector discoveries have increased the popularity of coins that were once overlooked. The 1958 wheat penny has benefited greatly from this rise in attention, remaining at the top of many collectors' want lists. Beginners and professionals alike search for this coin, hoping to find a rare high-grade piece in rolls, collections, and old savings jars. Collectors today crave authenticity, rarity, and beauty, and the 1958 wheat penny offers all three. It is a coin with deep history, emotional significance, artistic detail, and powerful market performance. When someone discovers they own a sharply struck, well-preserved example, they quickly realize they are not just holding copper, they are holding a valuable artifact of American heritage. And now the part everyone waits for, the unbelievable maximum price recorded for an exceptional, top-grade, incredible 1958 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny. One stunning example sold for an amazing amount, and that extraordinary price was $55,377.